Hello, it's me again. I did threaten to involve my dulcet tones once more in a video, and after a couple of months, I'm afraid they're back. I just thought I'd show a quick walk around the garden in November, which, to be honest, I didn't think it would look as good as it does now, but we've not had a frost. So everything that obviously will go to mush as yet hasn't, and is actively growing still, as it's pretty mild. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and you'll see the tropics in Stockport in November. So beautiful sunny day in Stockport. We've had probably a full week of rain, and let's start at the beginning. So we've got the Mahonia soft caress starting to flower. These were in this year, grown really nice. Fatsia polycarpus got about 4 times as big as they were. Again, nice and protected underneath the canopy, so should be all right for the frost despite it being the first year. Euphorbia Ascot Rainbow, this one's doing well, this one not so well. Both from B&M, same place, same price, same size, same time. Evergreen fern here, which I've written down because I won't remember. Polysticum miniatum, sending out new fresh green growth in November. Long term, long standing Fatsia japonica. This one's about to flower, but I'll show you a couple in a minute that are flowering a lot better. And obviously the Trachycarpus still heading off into the sky. We've got the Washingtonia robusta here in a pot. I've left it in a pot, and this will be moved to the front soon, as I think -5 is their limit. So the front is south facing all day next to a brick wall, so I'm going to put them there, and I will put on some fleece if we're going to have some really cold weather. Here is my Fatsia japonica that's got some fantastic flowers, absolutely brilliant. So it's nice to have a little bit of colour in the autumn. Musa starting to not look its best, but I mean we're talking nearly 7 foot. That's grown a good 3 foot in just a couple of months. It's quite a late one that I put in. As other people or experts in the field of YouTube, tropical gardens have said, and I'm following their advice, so I'm passing their advice on. I'm leaving the Musa Basjou and all my plants that do need protecting, unprotected, uncut, left for as long as possible, so that we can get still more growth, more thickness in the stem, and a shorter time wrapped up and dormant for the health of the plant. Obviously it's a gamble. I could cut them all back now and not have to worry, but the forecast for the next week, at least probably 2, is still mild, so let's enjoy them while we can. Guineas under here, doing really well. Fancy there, spider's web, and then the Transdensia. Fargesia Winter Joy here, doing well. Again, first year for the Dicksonia Antarctica. Did really well, very happy with it. Obviously this will be one I'll be putting a ball of fleece on within the next couple of weeks, when and as required. There's 2 of those, one here, one here. One of the YouTube videos said, obviously, well, if you keep feeding them over winter, not as much, but maybe once a month. I'll try and remember who said that and put his name on, because it's him who has the credit. So I'm going to take his advice and give it a go. I'm still feeding these once every 2 weeks. I'm still soaking them a couple of times a week, and they're liking it. So, and I'll still water them in the winter, at least weekly, bar ice and frost. Here we have Musa sycamensis. This was on my windowsill. And November, we're talking 7 foot. And this was a few inches, which is amazing. Obviously we've got some evergreen, New Zealand grass, and quite a few evergreen plants. So we're not going to be bare in the winter. And then if we go across here, this is the Albizia, the silk tree, which is starting to die off unfortunately now, but obviously it's the time of the year. There's new growth there, oddly enough, but it's to be expected this time of year. Again, another Musa sycamensis. It was tiny. These leaves are just amazing. I mean, who'd have thought it? November. Still got that tropical look. You can still sit out with a pint and a jacket on. And down here, we've got the Schleifera taiwaniana. First year again, done really well, grown about 2 or 3 times the size of when I put it in, and nicely protected for the winter under all this. So I'm not going to do anything with that, I'm going to leave it. Mahonia. I might do a video on when I actually do protect all these things, but the plan so far is to cut all the leaves off and then wrap all the stem. I mean, there's pups under here. Will they survive winter? We'll find out. But I'm going to put chicken wire around. I'm going to go absolutely overboard on all these things. I really don't want to risk losing anything. The height. I know the roots will survive, but I don't want to risk losing that height. Look here. Beautiful sunshine. Stockport sunshine. Best in the world. And we haven't had any sign of runners because I did plant this in a large pot, and the Papyrifer is behaving itself, still sending out new leaf. I'm not going to protect this. It's George's Jungle Garden said best thing to do is to leave them. I'll take his advice. The leaves will die off in the frosts, harder frosts, but the stem and the plant should be fine. Formium, pretty hardy thing that I don't bother touching that. That's growing bonkers as they do. As we all know, we have to maintain the bloody things. So under through here, 2 plants that didn't really exist. Pond wise, I did say I'd say a few tips about what to do in a pond from my mistakes. So first thing, and a lot of people say it, no matter how big you make it, it won't be big enough. You want it bigger. I think this is about 3 times I've redone this pond. Another tip, don't plant any kind of running bamboo anywhere near your pond because it will spread 12 foot. I had some that used to be here and put bricks all the way around and concrete, and it found a little hole and one runner went straight through all the way around and then put a hole in, and I had to repair it, which I have done, and it's fine. I'd also say you obviously have an underliner, then you have your overliner. When you've got your overliner, I don't like showing liner, it's like showing your underpants, isn't it? But when you've got your overliner here, which I've got, if you've got stones and things on, it will abrade, especially if you walk on it, and wear the outer liner. So always put a liner on top of your liner if you're going to put stones, cobbles, or if someone's going to walk anywhere near it. And also another thing I would recommend, if you want a nature pond, don't put any fish in. I put a couple of stickleback in, just little stickleback, and obviously they made friends and their friends made friends, and every spring I get a net and get maybe 30 out, because obviously I've got to give the newts, is it the efts, the baby newts, I've got to give them a chance, and the tadpoles, So I do have a clear out and put the sticklebacks back into the area where their forefathers came from, to keep on top of that. These are mistakes I've made in it. Yeah, put shelves don't have a gentle slope with cobbles because they just roll down the gentle slope over time, whereas a shelf will stop it. So I put a shelf, retrofitted a shelf along the edges here. Let's have a quick look here. Now then, this banana plant is not as hardy as the others, and I've written the name down because I will forget it. There we go. Rosella lasiacarpa. Now this I'm gonna cut right down to the ground, pretty much, because I'm not expecting to save any height on this as they're soft, or near enough to the ground. Load of bark mulch, load of fleece, load of straw, chicken wire, and I'm even thinking of putting over the top of stuff some weed control matting possibly, which will be breathable but stop a load of water getting on, because as everybody says, who knows what they're doing, it's the water, them being wet, that kills them as much as the frost. This Acer is looking absolutely stunning. I mean, you know, this time of year, the light's coming through it. It's the only sort of red in the garden other than the Sycamensis. And I did think, I should have put it green, but you know, a green one, but I'm actually pretty pleased with that. Chamois Rop's doing well. Didn't bother protecting these last year. Got away with it. I might put a bit of fleece over the spears if it's going to be really cold. And then getting near to the end, my favourite bit of the garden here, which see, we've got the Canapatons, which are still flowering in November. Look at that, all flowering. Ginger at the back, which didn't flower this year, but should do next year. And then we've got the Colocasia, which are just coming to an end now. It'd be sad to see them go. I mean, look at this beauty here, this Colocasia pink china, which the leaf was about that big when I planted it a few months ago, and now it's about 3 foot. And then the Herculean, again, I expected these to be bonkers, and they are. They live up to their reputation. The black bamboo, how long will you be with us? This is container potted, so it doesn't go on the rampager though. If it does, it'll still die anyway soon, as we all know. But as yet, no signs of flowering, still really healthy. I've not watered the garden now with all the rain, and obviously we're not in the growing season. We want the borders to try and dry out, but they won't here. But I've dug out so much clay and put in some decent soil, mushroom compost, that it won't get waterlogged like it possibly could have been. So I just thought I'd have a quick walk round, show you that it looks pretty good, that I'm happy with it. I will do a quick one showing me wrapping everything up, very exciting, and it'll be what you've already seen from what everyone else does. And then I will do a December, or maybe in January, February, height of winter video, just to show how, with the right choice of evergreen plants, you're not just going to have a garden that looks amazing for a few months and then rubbish the rest of the time, or really bare. I'll show it at its worst, but we'll still have a lot of green. So thanks for bearing with me, and I will be back on in about a month or so. And there we go. Cheers for watching. Bye now.